So this is kind of the main drag in, or one of the main drags. It's early in the morning, so it's not too busy, but it is Ubud's become a shit show. It's just full of traffic, motorbikes and cars and tourist bullshit. However, one of the joys of Ubud and Bali is you're only seconds away from something quite different. So little gangs, little alleyways that lead to away from the chaos. And then a minute later you're basically in the jungle. You can hear the jungle noises, little waterfall down there. And this fantastic footpath. And then another minute later and you're out in the sawah. Sawah is the rice fields. Very pretty. Nice coconut palms lining the footpath. It's not too hot, nice cool breeze this morning. It's a little bit cooler than when I arrived. I'm technically on a rest day. It was sort of raining all night, that's why it's a bit cooler. And this morning, so I thought I'd have a rest day from the bike. So that means instead of going cycling for 3 hours, I just go walking for 3 hours. But change is as good as a rest. Anyway, I'm walking up here. I've got a particular goal in mind. Ladies threshing the rice. Okay, the goal I had in mind was this warung. Warung is a restaurant out in the rice fields. Very lovely, actually. They're always a little bit expensive, so I tend to avoid them. But this one had several cats in last time I came, but not a cat in sight today, so I'm not paying silly prices for a catless cafe. But it's very pretty. Unfortunately, the guy's streaming out here this morning, so it takes away from the atmosphere. I like these coconut skulls. Ganesha. Yeah, without the streaming, it would be all you'd hear is the sound of the water, which would be lovely. Well, they say you've got to get all your ducks in a row. Those ducks, very much in a row. Walking along the edge of the paddy. Of course, they're not pets. They're dinner, but they're still quite sweet. Okay, in the centre of Ubud, this is Puri Agung Piliatan. I think they say this is like the second royal palace. A little bit into the sun, but it's quite beautiful. Ganesha, of course. Most fantastic Garuda in the corner. And then traditional sort of Balinese temple architecture. Right in the centre of Ubud, but quite fantastic. And then if we just go outside, we've got what's called the banyan tree. I mean, banyan trees are pretty incredible anyway, but this one, I mean, it's impossible to photograph, shall we say, because it's absolutely massive. Look at that. Still aerial root structure, and of course it's very holy. Strong tradition of animistic belief here that Hinduism sort of incorporated, as religions tend to. Look at that, it's a shrine right up like a tree house. Incredible. This is right in the centre of Bali, about 5 minutes walk from my house. So something you'll notice at every house here is at the doorway there'll be a pair of stone sculptures. These are guardians, and they take on all different forms. I like these two particularly, the sort of elders. She's fantastic. On this side, she's a little bit more spiritual. But you'll also see these wonderful little offerings that they make from leaves and banana leaves often, and flowers and an incense stick, a little bit of rice, sometimes it has some food in. Fantastic. More guardians, more offerings. And it's always the ladies who are making them and placing them out. And where I live, they're doing it not once a day, but several times a day. And that's just on normal days. On festival days, it just goes crazy. Okay, it's time for some lunch on the busy road. Sri Hari Lakshmi Vegetarian. So this is one of my regular lunch spots. It doesn't look much. Selamat siang. Hello. Hi. Can I get food?
Yeah.
Okay. I can see. Yeah. Let's see what we get. Okay, so it's a classic nasi campur, which is a classic dish, and nasi is rice. It's a bit noisy here. Campur, I think, just means mix, so you just get a bit of everything, but this is sort of vegan version. So some noodles, some peanuts, some spicy sauce, satay with tempeh, different types of tempeh and tofu and fried things, bit of soup. It's good, it's really good, and it's cheap. I mean, there's basically kind of two types of eatery in Bali, particularly in Ubud. There's sort of fancy, wanky places selling smoothie bowls and avocados smashed on toast and all that sort of thing for inflated prices, and then they add on tax and service onto the bill when you get it. And then there's the sort of places I eat, which are much simpler, not very clean, but good, cheap, proper Indonesian food. I love it. Okay, let's tuck in.